stop my foot from like that jerking or but yeah, if it was really, really intense, you would know that you would, it's different because I would pull away.
Yeah.
So
she's still giving me.
Working with it at the moment.
Yeah. But I'm working at the upper, because I want results quicker. I'm working at the upper range of her threshold. And so if this is not releasing here by working it like this, I come back to here. And I come back to this entire line. So I can come into here. I can, if there's enough moisture on the toe, and I don't recommend this for beginners, but you can actually sort of slide a bit. It does feel a bit like a cutting sensation, but it'll break up in here and I'll go easier. How's that pressure? Because it feels like it could be trapped just beside, like through here. So you can see I've eased up, but I'm moving it. Okay. And then I want to have her, because I know that's intense for her. So I'm giving her a break from the movement and I'm just holding a spot a few millimeters away from the first spot I worked. And I'm letting her breathe into that. And then I'm changing the angle. See here, I've got an angle this way and I'm going to change that to that. And you can see from her sensation, that's a different feeling. So I'm actually pushing that energy that way by going like this. And then I'm moving it.
So essentially you're on the pan and then you just roll over the other side and then under the side. So you're just getting either.
Yeah, until it shifts. Yeah. And I can, again, it's one of the most complicated aspects. It's why almost nobody does this in the massage therapy profession, because it requires an ability to feel the energy that's going on in there. Otherwise it's not necessarily just all about muscle, a bit more like acupuncture in this area. So then I'm trying to join these two spots, and I'm even going to come further and just make sure that there's nothing held in here. Remember what I was saying, these days I end up spending 70% of my time between here and here. And if I've done this well, the rest of it'll be easy. But it takes time, and you can see how much is blocked just in this area here.
And in terms of reflexology, that's a lot around the head, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, and around the crown chakra here, and then we're coming in, and that's where she's holding a lot. So again, just gently caressing that band, and occasionally coming in and holding a spot on the band. And just letting her breathe into that. Again, not too hard that it's going to make her pull away, but it's moving. And I'm just gently moving the toe while holding this spot here to help it shift. And then I'm changing the angle and moving it that way. Okay, we're getting there. Almost 1.5 centimeters along, but we just got to do it a bit more thoroughly now. So I'm going fairly gentle, just to, again, encourage that movement down this way. And again, I'm going to see how this is going. And here I'm doing cross-fibering over this tension. Just letting go a bit. And then I'm going to come right into where the toe joins the foot.
You're a lot deeper than what you were previously.
That's right, yeah. So it's letting go. It just takes time.
Yeah.
I'm even going to come into here. Okay. Now I'll just give her a little rest from the chopstick. Let's see if the toes are... But that's just one band on the toe. So now what I'm going to do, while I'm at this toe, I'd like to get at least all 4 of these bands done. So I'm going to come this way now. And again, this can be very intense through here. A lot of energy trapped.
When you run down the side, that's the crown, and then as you're coming down this stand now, what part of the head?
It's going to be like the side of the head.
Yeah.
And again, like as we come into here, that's getting more close to her jaw.
Yeah.
So we know that this area is all really tight too.
Down the fleshier part of the toe, is that the back of the head or the front?
Sorry, here?
Yeah.
That would be more the back of the head.
Back, yeah. Okay.
So again, I'm working this band, and sometimes I'm holding a spot on the band, and just holding it and letting her breathe into it. More like acupressure or shiatsu, or acupuncture to a certain extent. And just moving it ever so slightly to get that blockage to let go. And then sometimes I'm cross-fibering it. And so I can actually feel energy traveling up the chopstick that I want to get rid of. And then sometimes, if the person has a bit of moisture and their skin's not too dry, then I will move the chopstick along. But I usually go lighter with that because it feels intense, like you're cutting. But again, it should never be above the person's pain threshold. It's just totally counterproductive. So I'm going to hold that spot because that's really tight. This is where I was saying her jaw energy can be trapped. And then I'm just, again, going into that, being aware of her, sort of twitches, knowing that I'm right up at a pain threshold, moving along a couple of millimeters. Okay. So a little bit of a warm up on that one. I'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to come into here. Maybe want to get close on this one. And I'm coming right into this area here. Like I say, not into the nail bed. You have to be very precise, and this is one of the, it can be very, very painful in here if it's tight. So again, you can see the slightest, I'm holding. I'm aware of her, where she's twitching, and I'm just easing off slightly if she does, so that I'm not pushing her over that 10. And then I'm very slightly moving it. And it's okay if she's flickering a bit, and then I'm coming down this band.
Well, what's that first part in terms of the head?
It'd be in the face.
Like?
Yeah, like around the third eye or area.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of reflexology hasn't been completely figured out yet, but it's definitely in the face. Okay, and then I'm holding in there. Again, just letting her breathe into it, and then just the slightest movements, you can see I'm only moving a millimeter or two because that's how thick the band is. And then I'm holding, letting her breathe, coming up that band.
So is it gritty in there?
It feels tight, or I'm not feeling so much grittiness.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling like a tight band like that, you know? Okay. And then I'm going to just come back and do this side as well, because I feel like there's a lot going on. This is a really important area where a lot of people get a lot of congestion, okay? So I'm going to work again from the very tip. And then I'm going to start. Let's see if we can do the slide through here. That I can also hold and slide.
Cringing thinking about that.
Yeah.
And the slide kind of move, like does it
Push.
Yeah, it's
It
more
pushes
like,
the energy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one, then you can go in a bit deeper, just holding it and letting them breathe into it and try and move it. So there's a process of them trying to move it internally and us trying to assist that internal movement from the external. And all of it's quite difficult. And we have to work together as a team, okay? So that's why I say we need to know, she first of all has to want to get rid of this because it's really quite painful and it's uncomfortable, right? So there's no real joy in it. Like going to a dentist, you know, it's not, you don't go to a dentist because, oh, I love that feeling of somebody drilling into my teeth, you know? Wonderful.
Some people fall into
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say the Hellfire Club or something in Sydney. There's a small market that, you know. So again, I'm trying to twist her toe and get right into here. And again, this area is so tight. Again, going to be relating around that jaw area by the time we get into here. So just holding that. Oh, so congested in there. And letting her breathe. Now letting her toe move into the, using her little wiggle to make it that she moves into the chopstick a bit. And then caressing over that band gently. So this is such an important area. A lot of people get congestion right in here and then right in here.
So feeling her now, how many hours do you think she's going to need on that foot, like with your expert opinion, obviously?
I think up to a couple hours. I'd like to see what I can do in a couple hours on this foot. Yeah, because we're getting some good progress with the big toe. And the other toes are usually a little bit easier than the big toe, but the little toe can be pretty gnarly. It just depends.
So you would do that in shorter space of time, so like do an hour for her and then give her a break for a while and then go back to it, or do you just continue? Or just...
If she can handle it, I'd rather just go one toe after the other.
Okay.
I'd probably book her in, like I say, and I'd just try and get this foot done in one treatment.
Okay.
You know, and it might
So
be
book
a
a
2 hour
treatment, yeah.
Yeah, and then get her back to do the other foot, get her back to do the other hand.
Yeah.
If this was her first session,
Yeah.
like, and then you came, like right now, let's say we're approaching an hour,
Yeah,
would you kind of, like if you did stop around the foot,
yeah,
do people kind of go, oh, like, I mean, obviously I know that there's a lot happening,
yeah.
but people often that's enough for them at the time, like when they're happy and they'd come back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or you could do a bit of everywhere on a first treatment.
Yeah.
You know, first
So
treatment's
this would
good.
probably be
Second treatment or
onwards.
third, yeah.
Once they kind of know.
Once they're what I call a real green light,
Yeah.
and they just want to get better and they trust what
Yeah.
I'm doing and they're not kind of, do you know what I mean?
Which would then give you that flexibility of timing as well.
That's right.
Might be 60, might be 90, might be 2 hours.
Yeah. So it's starting to move here with a bit of what I call gentle persuasion. I'm definitely letting go. I'm going to use my
She's
thumb.
definitely got, like that toe's right
Oh,
down
yeah.
now, whereas before it really didn't have any movement, did it? It's
Yeah.
really quite, like you can even see the pronounced bend in her toe, whereas before it was just...
And it's starting to shift and you can see some emotion starting to come out,
Yeah.
which is great. So I feel like it was probably her really shitty stuff was held right in here.
In her toe, yeah.
Yeah,
Big
on
toe.
this side, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, so now I'm